how an eccentric innkeeper and a citrus craze conspired to create one of Southern California's most unique and intriguing landmarks. Welcome everyone, I'm Emilee Harris and I write historical romances. In today's author inspiration video, we're taking a look at the historic Mission Inn Hotel and Spa in Riverside, California. In 1874, the Miller family, led by Christopher Columbus Miller, migrated from their home in Wisconsin to Riverside, California, in order to work on the city's water system. In 1876, the family would open a 12-room adobe boarding house downtown to accommodate an influx of tourists from both the East Coast and Europe, drawn to the city by a profitable citrus industry, which began with the introduction of 2 navel orange trees from Brazil in 1873. The success of the trees and the resulting groves would prompt some to call the era California's other gold rush. In 1880, Christopher's son, Frank Augustus Miller, bought the boarding house and began to expand on it. He added the first wing, dubbed the Mission Wing due to its Mission Revival styling and the incorporation of features from each of California's 21 historic missions in 1903, followed by the Cloister, Spanish, and Rotunda wings, completing construction in 1931. At completion, the inn spanned over an entire city block and boasted 238 rooms and suites. Frank would go on to successfully run the inn until his death in 1935, garnering a reputation for both his exceptional hospitality and his theatrical personal style, which bolstered the popularity and appeal of the already praiseworthy hotel. His family would take over operation of the inn until the 1950s, when the building was sold and entered into a decades-long period of decline. Thankfully, the building became a registered historic landmark in the 1970s and was later revitalized in the 1990s by the current owners, Dwayne and Kelly Roberts. Now, despite being a child of Southern California myself, I do have to admit I had never been to visit Riverside during my time living in that state. I was first introduced to the Mission Inn via author Renee Bernard's historical romance retreat, attending as a reader in 2018 and then returning as an author in 2019. Happily cocooned in a bubble of hundreds of costumed historical romance readers and authors, the hotel provided me the perfect backdrop for the first seeds of a new series which would take root and develop into my Currents of Love Regency romance series. This phenomenon was of course not unique. The hotel likewise provided a setting inspiration for Anne Rice's 2009 novel Angel Time, as well as John Van Vlier's Treachery at Torrey Pines, published in 2012. Not to mention multiple films to include my one-time favorite, 1998's The Man in the Iron Mask. For anyone visiting the hotel, it is not at all difficult to become inspired. From the lush and brightly colored botanical displays lining every walkway, atrium, courtyard, and rooftop garden, to artfully carved banisters, exposed wood and brickwork, and portrait-worthy views, the building sits as a labyrinth of winding staircases, hidden alcoves, and priceless treasures collected by Frank Miller over a lifetime of extensive travel. The hotel is a living museum where guests wander past rare artwork and decor and seek the hiding places of the building's 400 religious bells, to include one described as the oldest in Christendom, dating to the 13th century. They may pause in one of the hotel's 2 chapels, the most famous of which is the St. Francis Chapel with its Tiffany's stained glass windows, originally commissioned for a church, and the 18th century 18-karat gold-leafed Rias altar obtained from a private collection in Mexico. They would also take note of the Wall of Wings, hosting over 140 copper wings signed by such famous flyers as Orville Wright, Amelia Earhart, and Buzz Aldrin. Guests can round out their exploration with a relaxing toddy in the Presidential Lounge, which commemorates visits from 10 U.S. presidents. I cannot stress enough, the Mission Inn is a history and luxury lover's paradise. But if I had to choose one most impactful thing I came across at the hotel, it would be this image and the life motto of Frank Miller: dramatize what you do. Frank was known for such outlandish marketing as dressing in monk's robes and riding the train with a basket of oranges, giving out the fruit, and inviting passengers to stay at the inn. I think he understood better than most that life is an experience and a story we create. As an author, the one question I get asked more than any other is, how do you come up with ideas? The truth is, I don't have to. Daily life is so much more interesting and versatile than fiction. Frank knew this and capitalized on it, creating a reputation for helping others delve into their fantasies of luxury and the exotic allure of bygone eras. What is writing if not trying to provide that same happy escape into imagination for readers? Alright everyone, thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed today's video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to get notified of additional videos as they're posted. Until next time, happy reading!